I'm just going to drop a link again in the chat every time someone joins. There's another completely free event on Friday next week, which is to deal with the fear of rejection, which is a big one that holds many entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, consultants back. Something which I've worked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people with and help them resolve that. So we will have a session on Friday, 5 o'clock UK time. Everyone is welcome to join that call. For people on the replay, because my throat is suffering, as you can hear, the VIP part for this event we're going to do on Friday, both days, and we'll just do both days on on Wednesday. I'll send you an email, but we'll do a proper session then. Okay, so my list was number one, the link. Friday. As always, if there's anyone in this room who is stuck, super stuck in their business, and you would like some help, feel free to drop me a DM. We can have a session together, and I'll be more than happy to get you unstuck. Of course, I don't know everything about everything, but I've certainly helped lots of people. So as long as it's not fitness, running, or dancing, I can definitely give you some good advice. Right, guys, let's get into this. So welcome, everyone. Let me just make sure that we are streaming. Otherwise, I'll get all the hate you can imagine on the internet. Always happens. Don't know why I'm manifesting that problem. Yeah, good. We are working. Awesome. Well, thank you. This is day 3. Thank you for coming on a Sunday. Sundays are always notorious for sleepy days where people crash out with popcorn and Netflix. Well, I will be doing the same after this call. That's my Sunday. Sundays normally is a personal development day for me. But I love doing these live events. And today, day 3, is all about something I really believe. And it's knowledge without action is entertainment. And it's something I popped right on the front of your workbook for today. There's many people in the online space. I've definitely been guilty of this because I love getting knowledge. Knowledge is a great thing, but it is actually just entertainment. If you don't do anything with it, it's just useless. And I don't want you to be stuck and in pain. I want you to be in motion, successful with abundance, clients, finances, whatever you want in your life. And that all comes from doing stuff. So just want to say thank you so much. You've done some really cool work over the last 2 days. I don't say that lightly. I want to give you not just praise for showing up, but give you praise for transformation, because you are transforming. If you've been doing the workbooks, you really have. Day 1, we went into some of hopefully the most deepest, darkest places of your psychology, which is your money story. We put your money story, we poured it out and put it into the light. We named the phrases that have partly programmed you, and we've traced them back to the people who gave them to you. We've identified the incident that linked money and pain together. For most people have a story involving pain and money. We've met the 4 barriers. We've come face to face with resistance, among other things. Day 2 was about installing a new operating system. We learned about the creative mind, that wealth is created and not competed for. We took a brief look at the burning desire. Hopefully you wrote a statement, so your subconscious mind can start working with that. We understood the difference between an amateur and a professional. I understood compounding, and that compounding is the most powerful force when it comes to wealth creation, not only just in your bank account, but also in your online business. We also learned that you do not raise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your identity. So day three is a bit different. Today is not about awareness. You have awareness now. It's not about knowledge. You have some core knowledge now. Today is about one thing and one thing only. It's about this thing we call embodiment. And what does embodiment really mean? It means the knowledge lives actually in your body and not just in your brain. Embodiment means you do not just understand the principles, you become the principles. Embodiment means the gap between knowing and doing permanently closes. So let me say this again, because it's the whole point of today. Today, the gap between knowing and doing will start to close, and we can start to close it permanently. So hopefully you did your overnight assignments, reading your burning desire statement, executing your first professional schedule for your morning, and hopefully been working on your gratitude journals and entries as well, and writing your day to reflection. If you've done the work, guys, just put a yes in the chat. Would love to know the high achievers in here. If no, be honest and just say, I've not done it. We will come on to that. Don't worry. Most people don't do the stuff. Don't worry. If you did not do the assignments, I'm going to give you all done. This is my man. This is the very few times you'll see me dance, Nicole. This is why I shouldn't have dance classes. All done. Amazing. Well done. Amazing. So with love, honestly, I'm going to challenge you right now. I'm going to ask this question, and I want you to reflect on this. Are you going to be the person who attends a 3-day event and takes notes, or are you going to be the person who attends a 3-day event that's meant to help you transform, and you're actually going to transform? Because they're two very different people. The first person has a nice notebook full of really useful stuff, interesting ideas, insights. And the second person has a path to a new life. Okay, so I'm hoping you didn't just invest your time, energy, just to fill a notebook. Hope you came here to change. I really want you to change. That's why I do these things. Okay, so it's just something to ponder on. It's not me being Mr. Meanie Pants. It's just that I really am passionate about your success. Really am. So let's get into the workbook. Hopefully you all received the workbook all okay. Hopefully you printed it out. If you didn't print it out, don't worry. As always, you can catch the replay and go through it afterwards. So one of the most important books written on human potential, there's loads, and I've kept my promise. I'm going to give you the list of books. I remember yesterday I said I'd make you a list of books I recommend you read. I've created it. Don't let me jump off this call without putting it in the chat for you, but I have made it for you in the order which you should go about reading it. Thank you. Yeah, the order you should go about reading it. So what in many books, what they do, they describe that there's these 4 zones of function that every person operates in. And when we understand these 4 zones and making the commitment to live in only one of them, it's said this is meant to be the single fastest path to massive income, success, and fulfillment. So let me walk you through them. And as I walk you through them, I want you to be ruthlessly honest about what zone you are currently spending most of your time in. So if you want to turn the page to the workbook, and you'll see it says my 4 zones. My 4 zones. So zone 1 is this thing called the zone of incompetence. This is the zone where you are doing things that other people can do much better. So for you as an entrepreneur, this might be bookkeeping, website coding, graphic design, video editing, text setup, all of these things. So, okay, you can do these things some of the time, but often you don't do them well, takes you a long time. And just know every hour you spend in this zone, the first zone, the zone of incompetence, is literally a stolen hour from your income and massive success. The fix here is simple, but it's very emotionally difficult for many people. And the fix here is to delegate it. Hire someone, outsource it to AI, an AI agent, if you know how that works. Stop doing these things basically that you are bad at. And I know that the old programming will always say, well, I should be able to do everything myself. That programming is a lie. And it's a resistance wearing a work ethic costume. Now, I want to preference this very, 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 very carefully. Whilst you're trying to hustle to make your first 10K online, I don't know how many of you that is in the room. Don't know where you are. Don't know if you're over 10K, under 10K, never made your first sale. I don't know where you are. You don't need to tell me, don't worry. That's between you and your bank account, unless you want to get on a private call with me and we can go deep into that. But just know, under your first 10K, do not even think of hiring anyone at all. It's one of the biggest mistakes you can make, in my opinion, because you just end up spending even more time managing them on stuff that you don't really know yourself. It actually is a huge headache. I made this mistake. I had VAs coming out my eyeballs, and it was just a nightmare. Okay, even when I made my first 100K online, I did it by myself. It was much easier. Okay, but in hindsight, when I made my first 10K, that was when I should have considered at least outsourcing some stuff. Now, we're very, very lucky. We have this thing called AI these days. And AI is a thinking partner and a co-worker. So you can actually outsource from day one if you have the skills, know how to use AI. Okay, I'll do some AI events as well. I've been using AI for easily over 6 years now. Everyone thinks AI is this new thing, but I've been using it for 6 years now, and I know it very well. It has been amazing over the last few months for me. Good, yeah, it's a real. So people misunderstand the point of AI. Actually, I won't go down that rabbit hole. We'll be here all night. I could talk about AI. I love AI. It's amazing. It's to be embraced, but not tonight. Sorry. I'll go down a rabbit hole. We'll be here all night. I promise I'll do some AI events, but it's super cool. Don't fear AI. Just know people who understand AI are going to be the winners in this new economy. Okay, that's all you need to know. Don't be scared of it. It's your friend. It really is. But yeah, so get rid of it. But the old resistance always says, I need to do everything. It's a trap. You really don't need to. So zone 2 is the zone of competence here. This is the zone where doing things you can do adequately. Okay, but lots of other people can also. So for many entrepreneurs, this includes very basic things like social media management, answering emails, scheduling appointments for you, doing research, whatever research you need. As business owners, all types of research you need doing. You're fine at these things, but fine, and this is so important, fine does not build massive wealth and success. Fine is just average, and no one wants an average business and an average life. Again, good thing is AI can do all that crazy stuff for us now, easily. Zone 3 is your zone of excellence. Now, this gets very interesting. This is the zone where you do things that you are really actually generally good at, maybe even great. And the work comes relatively easy for you. People praise you for it. You might even be making good money for doing it. But here's the trap. Most successful people get stuck in the zone of excellence their whole life, career, and business because it feels very comfortable. And also, it can pay quite well. It earns you respect. And from the outside, it often looks like you're really, really thriving. Okay. But from the inside, something will feel off. It's that thing where people say, "Oh, I don't feel in alignment." You feel a bit restless. There's a quite dissatisfaction, sense that you're not being fully expressed, and you're performing at a high level, but you're not on fire. You don't have that exciting thing. So the zone of excellence, believe it or not, is the most dangerous zone, even more dangerous than the last two, because it's very seductive. It's good enough to keep you from reaching great, but can make you enough money to keep you from pausing being extraordinary. And it's what they call the golden cage, the golden cage, or the golden handcuffs. I've heard of it. I'm sure you heard of that before. Many of you are probably in this zone right now. You're very good at what you do. You may even make really good money from it. But there is another level, a level of work that would set your soul on fire. And you've been avoiding it because often it feels terrifying. So for me, my zone of genius is definitely coaching, speaking, consulting, going out, talking on stages, being a guest in other people's stages. It is not building funnels. I hate it. My zone of genius is meeting people on calls, helping them get unstuck. Nothing more than that. I had golden handcuffs career for 25 years. Yeah, it's a trick. I was in that trap as well, my friend. Like I said, I was a vice president, pharmaceutical company, paid very well. Big corner office overlooking the lake, loads of people working for me, and I was not feeling the love, trust me. But from the outside, looked great, looked great. But it's not what it cracked up to be. I love doing this way more, way more. Love meeting people. I'm a people person. My very first career was I was in the police of all things. Don't run away, people. Don't run. But I did it because I just love being around people. I loved it. Right, zone 4 is the zone of genius. This is where you want to be. This is where stuff gets really interesting. This is where you work and you do the work that you were really born to do. I'm sure you've heard of that before. And this work basically makes use of your unique gifts, but a combination of them. So this is your experiences, the things you're passionate for, things that no one else on the planet could copy. Okay. So when you're in this zone of genius, it's when time disappears. Don't know if you've ever been there before. And you can do something all day and it's like, oh, wow, feels only like a minute. You lose yourself in your work, ideas flow without effort. The work actually gives you more energy instead of draining you. And here's the financial part. The value you create in this zone is exponentially greater than all the other zones put together. Okay. So this is a huge insight, hopefully, light bulb. The highest income will always come from your zone of genius, always. Because in your zone of genius, you cannot be replaced. People cannot compete with you on price. It's called only me marketing. Only me marketing is a pyramid of skills, and right at the top, there's only me, meaning it's just you. So if you think about what this means for your business at the moment, if you're operating your zone of competence, okay, you may be making a couple of $1,000 a month, like many coaches do. And the difference between that and hundreds of thousands is this. It really is. One is a commodity because you fall over life coaches in the street. There's that many. There's just thousands of life coaches and business coaches, commodities competing on price, where you always feel pressure to lower your prices and all that stuff. But when it's just you, it's just you. And this is your unique skills, insight, talents, abilities. Mixed together, you become completely invincible. Just bear with me, guys. Why is the world chasing me? Okay, I've muted my phone. So what I want you to think about is how can you operate in your zone of genius, doing the very unique transformational work that only you can do in the way that you can do it, so you become a category of one. There is no comparison when there is no competition, because there is no comparison. You are the only person offering what you offer. And when you're the only one, you get to decide your price. So now here's the question everyone asks: how do I find my zone of genius? Like, how do I do it? How do I know? I think I know what I'm good at, but how do I? And there's two questions to answer, really. And I want you to sort of sit with them. Don't rush them. You can definitely ponder this after our call today, okay? The first question is, what do I most love doing? What do I most love doing? Not what are you best at? Not what makes you money. It's this: what do you love doing so much that it doesn't feel like I'm working at all? What activity causes you to lose track of time? What if you could do this even if no one paid you? Okay, that's the thing to think about. So what do I love, literally love doing most? Not what I'm best at, what do I love doing the most? Forget money, all that stuff. It's the stuff that you lose track of time doing. I'm really sit with that, think about it, don't rush it. It's a very important question. Question two. What work do I do that does not seem like work? What do I mean by that? Well, look at it like this. In what area do people constantly say to you, I don't know how you do that? How do you do that? How did you do that? And you generally do not understand why it's hard for them to see that you can do that. Because it's easy for you, okay? That's a big signal. That is your genius. Okay, now there's a secret one you can do now. They're the two main questions. But if you're still a bit lost, as they say in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in that show, you need to phone a friend. And you just ask them this question. If you were to phone me and ask for advice, what would be the one thing you would phone me for? And just be quiet. Don't speak. Just say, why would you phone me to get advice? And they will give you the answer. So best friends, people I don't know, went to university, school with, people you hang out with, just say, why would you call me? You're in the worst situation in the world, whatever it is. What would cause you to pick up the phone and ask me for help? Okay, it's called the phone the friends. They know you probably better than you know yourself. Okay, ask them. Okay, if you're married, ask husband, wife. If you have a long-term partner, ask them. If you're brave, ask mum and dad. Just think of the people in your life. They know you so well. But normally it's the best friend test. Phone a friend and they will tell you. What was the question for a friend? Yeah, so you say to your friend, I want you to imagine it's like you're in a terrible situation and you needed to call me for advice. What advice would you call me for? Okay, so for example, my friends always call me when there's something legal going on. I don't know why I did lots of law stuff. Now they would just ask ChatGPT. But I'll ask them, or you can even be more direct. What do you think I'm good at? But the secret is don't say anything. You just want to be quiet, catch them off guard. Just ring your friend up and say, hey, Yokota, what am I good at? If you had a problem, what problem would I solve for you? Just ask them. Just talk to them. You'll get a good idea. That's if you get stuck. Normally the first two questions are enough, okay? So these are the first two questions to go through. I've given you a bonus one. That's not on the worksheet here, okay? But question three, sorry, you'll see I've got it on Zone of Genius Discovery on the work thing. Not the last one, that's the bonus one. Question three, if I committed to spending 80% of my work time in my zone of genius, okay, and I needed to stop doing, delegating, or eliminating, what would this be? And this is like very, very deep work here, okay? So if I committed to spending 80% of my work time in my zone of genius, what would I need to stop, delegate, and eliminate? This is very important to do. It's very deep work, okay? That's why I say it's best to do it after the call. I'll send you the replay so you can watch over this again. Really takes some time, really takes some time. When we look at question three, that list, the things you would stop, delegate, and eliminate is the list actually that's currently holding you back. And it's holding your income hostage. Because every hour you spend on those tasks is an hour you're not spending in the zone where your income has no ceiling. No ceiling. But there's a ceiling definitely if you're struggling, oh, I need to do a Canva template, or I have to do that. Like that is not a zone of genius. You're not going to get rich doing that. You're not going to get rich. So I know some of you are thinking, okay, but I can't afford to delegate these things right now. Here's a reframe. You can't afford not to. So every hour spent outside of your zone of genius is a cost. It is the revenue that you just cannot generate because you're either editing a video, fixing a website, instead of doing the real work that only you can do and only you can get paid to do. Okay? So like I said, the good news is AI can do most of our stuff now. 80-20 rule applies in the AI world, just so you know. AI now can do 80% of the work. So you can do the 20%, which is this zone of genius, which will make 80% of your results. Like all your income will come from that 20%. It's a standard. I'm sure you all heard of the 80-20 rule before. That's what it means. It really is. Just what the 80-20 rule applies to so many things in life. Like it's crazy. So wealthy people do not work for money, which I know sounds a bit obscure. But what they do, they build systems, they build assets that generate money. And your zone of genius is the most valuable asset. And everything outside the zone of genius in these other three areas is basically, it's a hidden business tax. You're literally taxing yourself every time you do it. You're paying a tax. So the goal is to maximize the asset, which is you, and minimize the tax, the overhead, which is the other three areas. Does that make sense? Is everyone with me so far? Useful? Is it giving you something to think about? Does anyone know what their zone of genius is? Put it in the chat. I would love to, just what does your intuition tell you what your zone of genius is? As I sip on my Ugandan medicine, this may make me more ill. Just bear with me. But yeah, do you know your zone of genius? If you don't, more than happy, you can book a call and I can help you find it for sure. Facilitation and leading others. Beautiful. That's a great superpower to have. Yeah, what is it, Nicole? Tell us. It's a few things. Whoa, can't be greedy. Can't be genius in so many areas. Of course you can. Money plain. No one should ever restrict you. Marketing, amazing. I would love to be a genius in marketing. I am not a genius in marketing at all. Know marketing well, but it's not my zone of genius. Yeah, everyone share. Parent-child relationship. That is the strongest superpower I could think of on a Sunday. Went to church earlier. There was many parents that needed a superpower there. I can tell you, babies screaming. Understanding consumer shopping behavior. Amazing. This is really, really cool. Really cool. We need to have a chat. You need to do some marketing for me. So, need to think about being in your zone of genius. Okay. Right. Next up, guys, we're going to move on to this because it's very important to understand you are not selling time, you're selling a transformation, and you need to price accordingly with that. So, in this next segment, we're going to take the inner work we did for the last couple of days and we're going to turn it into actual dollars, cash in the bank. And this is where philosophy meets the bank account. So let me ask you a question. I expect many of you have heard this before, but there's no such thing as too many times. How do you currently determine your prices? You don't need to put it in the chat, just have a reflection. How do you actually determine what you charge at the moment? Okay. If you're like most entrepreneurs, you will generally do one of three things. Method number one, you look at what other people charge and you'll price yourself slightly lower. This is super common. So this is the competitive mind at work. Remember the competitive mind we spoke about? This is the competitive mind. We look at everyone else, we lower our price. You're letting the market and your competitors know really that you're dictated by them. You let them dictate your value. And that is a thermostat. You're reacting to the environment instead of setting the temperature that you want on your own thermostat. Super common. Method number two, you calculate your hourly rate and multiply. So you think, okay, I want to make $100 an hour. My program includes 10 hours of coaching, so I'll charge $1,000. This is slightly better, but still fundamentally messed up, broken, because it ties your income to time. Time is finite. There are only so many hours in a day. An hourly model has a very, 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 very hard ceiling. You will never become wealthy trading time for money. All you will do is become burnt out, which most coaches, consultants do. Burnout is a huge problem in this industry because people fall into that trap. Okay. Intuition, what feels right. However, I tend to charge less because of where I'm at. You will fix that for you. Don't worry, my friends. That is that is definitely the competitive mind talking. So don't worry. That's easy. That's easy to fix. Method three, your price is based. You ready on this? You ready for what I'm about to say? Number three is based on what feels comfortable. And this is the thermostat at work. Okay, you pick a number that doesn't make your stomach go, ugh. Okay, oh. You pick a number that you can say out loud without basically your voice going, oh, it's 15,000. Oh, it's that. Okay. So you pick a number which you feels reasonable, people wouldn't judge you for, you wouldn't judge yourself for. And yeah, a little voice will pop in. Who are you to charge this? This isn't reasonable. You need another certificate. You need to be further along. It's fine. Super common. It's what everyone pretty much does. All three methods are wrong on a number of ways. They lead to burnout, overwhelm, hard ceiling. You're building yourself a trap from day one. All three will keep you under earning. So there are a number of methods which are great. I will share one method with you now. And it's where you remove emotion completely. So this is like the easiest one to pick. There are actually many other pricing models, but this is the easiest one. And it's this, please write it down. Your price is based on the value of the transformation you deliver, full stop. Nothing else. Because anything else is just emotion. It's the competitive mind sneaking in. Let me make this a bit more clearer and concrete. If you're a business coach and you help your clients make an extra $5,000 a month, and you're helping them add that to their income, what is that worth over the course of a year? Over 5 years? Over 10 years? And if you're the coach that gives them the breakthrough for the rest of their life, what is that worth? So you just need to think of the value of the transformation. And when you understand this, and whatever the transformation you deliver, whatever it may be, when you understand this, truly understand it, not just intellectually, but in your bones, something really does shift, because you stop feeling guilty about your prices, you stop apologizing for the number that you say, you'll stop offering like huge discounts on sales calls and follow-up. Now, of course, there's things like fast action bonuses and fast action payments and all this stuff. That there's legitimate strategies, but as long as you're using it as a strategy. But it's a mathematical formula. It's a mathematical formula. So let me go back to the example. If you're a business coach, you have clients add, say, $5,000 per month to their income. Okay, what's that worth over the year? I did the numbers earlier. I wrote them down. $60,000. Over 5 years, that's $300,000. Now, if you charge $5,000 for your coaching program, you are not charging $5,000. You're charging 1.6% of a 5-year value you create. 1.6%. That is not expensive. That is actually the greatest bargain in history in human exchange. And you always have to think of it, it's a mathematical equation. Like I said, when you understand this, you really understand it. So you need to work out what is the value of your transformation. There's another lens to look at this through as well. Money is life energy in this context, in this conversation. Money is life energy. Every dollar, pound, euro, whatever your currency may be, every dollar you earn represents a certain number of hours of your life time that you'll spend earning it. So this principle comes from a person called Vicky Robin. And this is a very powerful way to look at money. So money is life energy. Every dollar you earn represents a certain number of hours of your life that you spent earning that dollar. So in other words, when you underprice your services, you're not just leaving money on the table, you are devaluing your own life energy. And you're effectively saying, my time my expertise, my transformation, my life is not worth very much. And when you look at it like this, it becomes self-betrayal. And here's how it actually affects your clients as well. When you're underpriced, your clients do not take the work very, very seriously at all. I made the mistake of once, quite recently, I've made this mistake. I've made this mistake many times. But I had a program which people were paying $1,250 a month to be in. And it was a year's commitment. Folks would make, in their first month, $10,000. Some wouldn't, of course, not everyone does, but some people made six figures, all this stuff, great results. I gave the same information a couple of years later, but I just charged $100 a month for a program. And no one did anything with the information. Now, what's weird is when you, how do you feel about price? I don't know what you mean. Sorry, can you rephrase the question? Thank you. So when people pay, they really do pay attention because it's an energy exchange. This is what I'm meaning. If people aren't investing, you're doing them a disservice because they just don't turn up. And let me give you an analogy. If you gave me $10,000 for one phone call, would you turn up with a notepad, loads of questions ready? You would record it, you would watch it a million times. But if you got the call for free, probably just take it or leave it. Not that serious, not that keen. Happens every single day. And it can be the same information, but people they haven't brought in to their own transformation. I've seen this so many times. People with the same information, and everyone says, no, that's not me. I wouldn't do that. You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed because it becomes less valuable to you. Yeah, Nicole, rephrase the question and I would love to answer whatever the question is. I'm half asleep. I haven't got my glasses on either, but I'm being silly. Rephrase it. I would love to answer it for you. So a client who paid, say, $5,000 for a 90-day program, I guarantee shows up on time, does the work, gets extraordinary results. Not because the program is different. It's got nothing to do with the program. It's because their investment does one thing and one thing only. It changes their behavior. Every entrepreneur needs to know this. Undercharging does not serve your clients at all. It will sabotage them. The higher the price, it creates higher commitment, which creates greater results. Greater results. And there's been so much research done into this. So much research. And high earners, again, there's been research into this, high earners have this willingness to get very uncomfortable, meaning they're willing to invest in themselves, and also they do not get uncomfortable naming a price. Okay, they just don't. I once invested what was it, $6,000 for 3 phone calls that were 45 minutes. I definitely paid attention. So don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. So 5 seconds of discomfort of you naming your price is huge value for the person on the other side as well. It's a win-win, win-win-win-win-win, win-win-win-win-win. Does that make sense, guys? Make sense? Doesn't make sense. I don't know if you've ever invested something and it's made you pay more attention. I know I have. Okay, so on there are people who raise their prices, but the value of the information is the same. What are your thoughts on people? So there's so many different ways to look at that. Give me a minute to think of an answer. I know what you mean now. There is okay. There's positive, very positive, and there's negative as well. It depends on so many nuances for sure. Give me a minute. I'll have a think. I will 100% give you a good answer on that one. But that's a great question. I don't know how I feel. I don't know. I feel your pain as well. I feel your pain as well. Yeah. Give it. Let me think of that. I'll give you a good answer in a second. Definitely. Um, yeah. Don't let me forget. I'll come back to that, I promise. So let's turn to the page in the workbook. It's called My Transformation Pricing Calculator. You've asked a really good question, Nicole. I can't go any further. So if the value stays the same and someone raises the price, I would say that is the opposite of service. That is manipulating people, because what they're doing is they're trying to unethically create fear, urgency, and cause almost desperation in people. So in life, I always go back to Napoleon Hill. Where's my Napoleon Hill? I've tied it up. But Napoleon Hill, I would say, gives us the cleanest way to think about that. He says that the price people can command is tied to the quality of the service that they render and the spirit in which they render it. In other words, price should be connected to real value, real service, and real integrity. So Hill also says there's no fixed price for sound ideas. So that means that pricing is not meant to be necessarily random, but it's not meant to be one size fits all either. That's why I had to kind of think about it, because a price, of course, can go up, can always go up, but generally I would say the price would have to go up when the result becomes more valuable. And sometimes it can be the same information, but it can be more valuable because the delivery is stronger, the delivery is quicker, the time of the result comes more quickly. Someone gets a deeper transformation. Maybe it's more skillful. So I would say if the price goes up because the value goes up, fair. If the price goes up because the transformation is more significant, it's fair. If the person can get the result much quicker, much clearer, but the information's the same, I would say it's fair. But if the price goes up and the value's the same, and the seller's, the person doing it is just trying to squeeze people, yeah, I don't support that. Because I wouldn't say that's moral, I wouldn't say that's legal or ethical. I remember when I said that before on a call, I think it was on yesterday's call, there's no rules in business, or as long as it's moral, legal, ethical, they're the only rules. And I would say that that's not really, I wouldn't say it's ethical or moral. So yeah, I hope that answers. Thank you for bringing that up. It's actually really relevant, of course, for what we're talking about, because we're talking about pricing based on transformation and not time. Yeah. Does that make sense? I don't know how good that answer was. I hope it was. I hope that makes sense. I also think values in the eye of the beholder. Some people will take information, make use of it. Others never do anything. Most people never do anything. It's sad. Most people never will Transparency is super important. Yeah, yeah. Not promising things you can't deliver on is a big one. Um, yeah, people make big crazy promises, and it just hurts everyone. Hurts the business owner, hurts the person that bought. It's not a good place to be. Yeah, not everyone can make it transparent. Lots of people try and hide stuff because they are desperate often. Um, need money, need the likes, need to keep my Lamborghini, which I'm secretly hiring and I don't own. Lots of people on the internet like that have a nice car which they hire for a weekend. Anyway, that's of that. I'm not here to hate. Okay, so on this page, this is a pricing calculator to try and pull out what your price is. So have a think about these following questions. Question number one, what transformation does my offer deliver? And we're not talking about features. We're not talking, especially not talking about hours of coaching, number of videos, number of modules, number of live sessions, doesn't matter. The transformation. And the clearest way to do it is in the formula I've given you here. My clients go from X to X. So what is the exact thing you're doing? So my clients go from pain to pleasure. People always go from a place of pain to pleasure. Okay? And you're the middle, the vehicle. Your offer is the vehicle, taking them from the island of pain to the island of pleasure. And your offer is in the middle. It's the vehicle. It's the bridge of how they get from there to there. Okay. So think, how do so my clients go from horrible place to dancing on an island. Everyone seems like dancing in this room apart from me. So pace a plane to dancing on an island with a pina colada happy. Okay. Next one, number two. What is the financial value of that transformation over 1 year, over 5 years? So what is the financial value of that transformation? Everything has a financial value, just so you know. But you need to think. So like a relationship coach, marriage coach, cost of divorce. Divorces are expensive. Child support from a distance is expensive. What's the price of being a single parent? Or, health, how much does it cost to go to hospital and have to have heart surgery, whatever it is, there's always a financial cost. At the very least, freedom. Freedom always has a monetary attachment. Okay, question number three, what are you currently charging? Question four, what should I be charging based on the value of the transformation? And then this is where it gets fun. What is the gap between 3 and 4? Because that gap is the exact amount of money your thermostat has been costing you, the financial thermostat. Now, again, if you get super stuck with this, okay, I would fill this out just using your brain, because your brain is the most powerful computer, despite what Elon Musk may tell you, still way more powerful than anything else. Fill this out, and then if you feel still a little bit unsure, you can again reach out to me, and I'll be happy to coach you through this if you get stuck. Okay, be more than happy to jump on a quick call. I reassure you of your genius that you have. Not that you need reassurance, but if you do, I'm always happy to reassure. Everyone has a huge zone of genius. They may not necessarily understand it. So when you go through this, what I want you to do is, again, look at the number you wrote for question 4. That number probably will scare you, and it should scare you. I remember fear is a compass, and it's pointing to the thing that will change your life. So if this bit scares you, get excited. I'm not asking you to triple your prices overnight. What I am asking is that you begin moving towards that number. Okay. So, in other words, next time you have like a sales conversation, sales call, raise your price a little bit. Okay. Doesn't have to be to the full number that may feel impossible at the moment, but just raise it, even by $100, $200, $300. Maybe 1,000. You just keep getting more confident. You'll be amazed. People will still definitely pay you. But begin the process at the very least of aligning your price with your value. Because remember, every time you do it, the survival brain's like, wow, I didn't die. You're retraining it. You're retraining it. And remember, every time you say yes, you're casting a vote for that new identity that you want. You're slowly, slowly, slowly building that identity. Okay. Where are we now? 9 o'clock. Good. We're not doing so bad. I'll try and talk a bit faster. People in my world, just to warn you, if you're new to me, on YouTube, guys in the room, you'll have to get used. I like to talk a lot because I like to give a lot of value. So people in my world, you have to be people that have a good attention span. I'm not one for the ADHD that can do 3 minutes. I can't fix things in 3 minutes. If you're a 3-minute learner, I am not your guy. If you want real transformation, hello, I am your guy. I don't like to rush stuff. Okay, cool. Right. Next up, this we're going to talk about respecting the money that arrives. What do I mean by this? We have to become the identity of someone who can make money, hold money, multiply money. That's the secret to wealth. 3 things. Have to learn how to make money, have to learn how to keep money, which is even harder, very, very hard. And then when you learn how to keep money, you have to learn to multiply the money. Number 2 is the hardest. So hard. Making money is actually very easy. Keeping it, impossible, unless you have a bit of know-how. And it's not your fault. No one's taught you how to do it. No one's taught me how to do it. They don't teach you in school. Most books are useless at teaching this as well. Don't let me forget. In fact, let me put the list for you now before I forget. The book list. Let me otherwise I leave here and everyone will be so angry. Okay. See, I keep my promise. There you go, guys. So these are, I put them in order for you as well. It's in the Zoom chat. I remembered this morning I made you a promise. I was going to give you a book list. So there's my, there it is for you, okay? Okay, so this is going to be about respecting the money that actually arrives. So this is not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep and then how hard it works for you. Okay, so it's not about how much money you make, but how much money you can keep. And then the money you keep, how hard it can work for you. So this can get a bit personal developing, okay? But the bit of personal development, most of the personal development world never talks about. And it's the reason why I would say 99.9% of mindset trained entrepreneurs struggle with money. I would say it's why most money mindset people struggle with money as well. It's kind of ironic. What it is they've done the inner work and they've done things like they've healed their money story. They may have even raised their prices. They've even started making some good money, but they spend every single penny of it. So at the end of the month, they end up with nothing. No savings, no investments, no emergency fund. This is a real problem. Everyone goes through this. Everyone goes through this. don't go through this, okay? Please listen up. So in Rich Dad Poor Dad, it explains it so simple, but it's the one that separates wealthy people from everyone else. So I'm sure you've heard this before. There's only two types of financial instruments in the world. There's assets and liabilities. An asset puts money into your pocket, and a liability takes money out of your pocket. So the wealthy buy assets, and everyone else buys liabilities, and often calls these things assets. So in other words, your house, if you're living in it and paying a mortgage, is, now everyone would shout, it's an asset. It's actually a liability, because money is flowing out of your pocket every month. Your car, a liability. Your wardrobe upgrade, liability. These are all liabilities, which I know sounds crazy, because most people think the greatest thing to do in the world is to what? Own a house. But it's not that at all, okay? So what are assets for an entrepreneur, predominantly a online entrepreneur? So these are things that are like this: a course that sells while you're asleep, a group program that serves many people instead of one, an email list that generates you money every time you send a broadcast to the list. Another asset is an evergreen piece of content that brings in new leads every single day without active effort on your behalf. An asset for us would be intellectual property, a system, relationships with affiliates, relationships with JV partners. So in other words, the moment you start making money, like these activities, these are assets. So the moment you guys start making crazy money, which you will, there's no such thing as crazy money, by the way, but the moment you start making some money, and you will, because you've done inner work and you're allowing it, but you need to adopt a rule, and it has to be non-negotiable. And it's a rule which every wealthy person follows, consciously or unconsciously. And it's this: pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. So before you pay a single bill, before you buy a single thing, before you invest in a single course, whatever it may be, you need to move a percentage of every dollar that comes in into a separate account that you never touch. And why is this important? Because it gives you the identity of being a person that does that. So, I mean, this is a separate lesson for another day. I can make it very simple. We could do it in VIP. But to keep it very simple, the easiest way I've seen this being explained, it's not in any book. I learned this from a financial mentor. But you basically just have 3 accounts in life when you're beginning. You don't want to overcomplicate it. People say 5, but keep it really simple. 3. You have 1, which is your living account. Okay, the stuff you have to pay for, rent, food. Then you have the emergency account. Okay, this is if you have to pay for medical bills and all this stuff. Okay, and then you have the Las Vegas fund. And the Las Vegas fund is for opportunities. So opportunities are the thing that will make sure that you actually grow in life, that you actually can make more income. So opportunities is to invest in coaches, mentors, books, live events, investments, the casino, if you're good at the casino, that's why it's called Las Vegas. But all those things, okay? So it's just 3 buckets, and the percentage does not matter, okay? Even if you're just putting $1 in the Las Vegas fund every month, The point is, it's the identity you're building. It's the identity that I am the type of person who has 3 accounts. I know this is what I live off. This is my emergency fund, and I always have the habit of putting money in a Las Vegas fund. One important point, the Las Vegas fund should always have a component for charity in there. I won't talk about that today, but there's something called the law of compensation. Law of compensation is very powerful part in the world, and it's you literally get compensated for the good that you do. But I won't go into that again. That's a rabbit hole. That's the easiest way, but we do a slightly different way. So a percentage when we talk about this doesn't matter as much. It's the habit. So you can start with 10%. If 10% feels impossible, start with 5. If 5 feels impossible, start with 1. The amount is not the point in any of this stuff. The point is this: you're training your subconscious mind to believe that there's always money available, there's always abundance, there's always money left over. If you're training yourself to be the person who keeps money, you're doing that. You're not just a person who earns money. You're the person who keeps money, invests money in opportunities, all of this stuff, okay? Now, there is another system, which is a bit more complicated, but I love to give you options. There's one called, this one system is in the Millionaire Mind. Great book. They give you a system in there. I want to share it with you and give it a go. Implement it this week. It's called the JAR system. The JAR system. I've adapted it for you guys as online entrepreneurs. Slightly adjusted it so it makes a bit more sense for you. But every dollar that comes into your business, life, whatever it does, it gets divided into, and you'll see on the sheet here, it's got my money mastery system. And I've given you some hints here, right? This is what they recommend, okay? But I stress they, like who are they to decide your life, right? It's the identity. This would be perfect, but do what you feel is comfortable, because it's the identity that's important. You don't need to be harsh and strict. This is like to aspire to, okay? So the idea is, like I said here, necessities, 55%. This is rent, bills, food, business expenses, taxes, non-negotiable. Don't pay tax, guys, just hide. I never said that. 10% goes into financial freedom. Only a fool doesn't pay their taxes. I have no tax. I live in Uganda. But pay your taxes, guys. Prison is not worth it. I know there's a couple of online entrepreneurs who didn't do their taxes quite right, and it always catches up with you. It's not a pretty experience for anyone. I've seen that happen too many times. So always educate yourself in the tax area. 10% is the financial freedom account. In this account, this money is never spent. It's invested, so it compounds. It buys assets over time. It becomes money that makes you money while you sleep. So 10% goes into this financial freedom. Next up, you have long-term savings, 10%. Okay, 10%. This is for very, very, very things like large purchases, equipment, business investments, all this stuff. Okay, 10%. Yeah, so instead of putting them on a credit card, going into debt, you save for that type of stuff here. Could be vacations as well in there. Next up, and it'd be business vacations, if that makes sense. There's a vacation and there's a business vacation. Different thing. 10% into education, books, courses, coaching, mentorship. This is all to do with something called investment in your mind. Please remember, your mind is the greatest asset you have. Feed it. It's not AI. People say the greatest asset now is AI. Good luck with that one. You still need to know what to ask it. You still have to have some brain. So whatever happens, your mind is the greatest asset. Feed it. Jim Rohn always said, you have to buy bread for the mind. People spend too much money on bread for the stomach. He said, often, I always used to laugh. He said, if you meet a man and you say, right, how much have you invested in donuts over this year? And they say, well, I brought 300 donuts this year. Okay. And how many books have you brought? One. And if you ask them, well, how's your life going? They go, not so well. Well, he said, it's easy to fix. You buy one donut and read 300 books. You swap it around. You have to feed the mind, not the stomach. So books are donuts for the mind. It's the greatest asset. I like a bit of Jim Rohn. Right, play. Yes, play. 10%. This money must be spent every month on something that makes you feel abundant and alive. Dinner at a nice restaurant, a massage, new outfit. The purpose of this account is to teach your subconscious that money is there to be enjoyed. It's not just for survival. If your only relationship with money is stress, i.e. survival, your subconscious will repel it because it will see it as a stressful thing, see it as a threat, a danger. And then 5% you give. Charity, generosity, all of this. Whatever form giving is for you. Your quota will be for animals, I have no doubt. Whatever it is. Why is this important? This activates something called the principle of circulation. Okay. It's about teaching you that wealth must flow. If you hoard it, it stagnates. If you give it, it accumulates and will come back multiplied. Now, before your brain says, well, I can't afford to do this, that is your thermostat talking. It's the voice, it's that voice. It's your thermostat. It's the person who's never managed money before because they believe they can't manage it because they've never had enough to manage, okay? There is enough. There's always enough. There's enough for what matters. Okay? There's a very important point most wealth books talk about. Wealth is what you do not see. Wealth is what you do not see. The true measure of wealth is not the car someone drives or the house they live in. Those are displays of income, not wealth. Wealth is the money that has not been spent. It is the savings, it's the investment, it's the assets quietly compounding in the background. Now, let me blow your mind. The very flashy entrepreneur, say they make 50,000 a month and they spend 55,000 a month. They're broke. The quiet entrepreneur who makes 50,000 a month and invests 3,000, say, is building wealth. Or even more powerful, one's earning, 50,000 and they're spending 50,000. The one who's only making 15,000 and then they're investing 3,000. They're building wealth. And in only within 5 years, because you know how compounding works, the positions will be reversed. It will be reversed. So if you turn to your worksheet, okay. Did I put this in? Oh, I may not put that in. I'll just talk about it. So what I would love for you to do is just set up separate accounts, literally when you get off this call. Wise is great for this because you can create separate jars in the Wise account. Don't know if anyone has Wise. It's a great bank for entrepreneurs. It's free, doesn't cost anything. It's very easy to set up. They give you a bank card, personal account, business account. It's the easiest way of accepting money from anyone in the world, in my experience. This is not financial results. I'm not promising financial advice, blah, 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 all that. This is for educational purposes only. I'm an idiot, don't listen to me. But yeah, Wise is very, 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 very cool, because you can open these jars up. So what I would suggest is opening a Wise account, or if your bank allows you to do this, do it in your own account, and set up separate accounts, okay? And literally name them the jar, okay? And you name them what we've just gone through. Name them those things. So this is my necessities jar, my financial freedom jar, my long-term savings jar, education jar, play and give jar. And literally make it and then start allocating money, okay? So you can, if you do online banking, create separate accounts, okay? Don't wait to even go to bed tonight. Do it straight away. Because this is part of closing the knowing doing gap. It really, really is. It's very, very important you do that. Okay. Okay, we've got quite a bit left to go through. I'm aware of the time. So what I suggest is everyone available to come on Wednesday? I think Nicole said you weren't available on Wednesday. But for sure, I will send you the replay to watch. But I don't want to have to rush stuff. Okay, cool, you can come. Awesome, awesome. Is everyone else available for Wednesday? Would be 5 o'clock UK time again, because I would love to do the VIP bit, but also do this last section. This last section is the one that's going to give you the biggest breakthrough, and I don't want to rush things. But more importantly, I really want you to go and create those jars, because that will be something that you can really take action on and will give you a breakthrough. What do you think, guys? Are you able to do that? Nicole can come. Not sure if the other two can hear. This is a democracy. We can keep going if we want. I don't mind, but I'm aware. Not sure if the other two can hear. We keep going for a bit. Let's see how we go. I'm available Wednesday, but can continue now as well. Cool. We'll continue for a bit more. I've realized how much stuff I have left to go through. I'm terrible for always preparing too much for these things. Anyway, let's go then. You'll see in section 5 in the workbook then, section 5, we'll keep going until we all fall asleep, which is my upper limit alert system. Okay, what this is all about is basically this. The problem is never the problem. The problem is always your upper limit reaction to expansion. So this is the idea. So the problem is never the problem. The problem is your upper limit reaction to the expansion. I'm going to talk about what I mean. So we're in the final bit, don't worry, but I need to really equip you with a very critical tool. It's very, very important. It's what we're going to talk on here. A tool that will protect you from everything that you've kind of built over the last 3 days, what we've done together. Think of this as like a security system for the new operating system that we're installing now. Most financial books, financial advisors, anyone that knows anything about money will warn you that there's this thing called the upper limit problem. And it does not get solved once. It gets solved again and again and again. The problem is every time you expand, every time you hit a new income goal, you get your first client, then the next client, then a bigger client, then they pay you more, you gain a larger audience, you get more recognition. The old thermostat will keep trying to pull you back. So something will happen at some point. Be like a your thermostat will do this. Excuse me, hello, I'm your upper limit, and I'm going to cause you a problem. I'm going to sabotage you now. Who do you think you are trying to do this? And it will sneak through the back door, and it will use some very sneaky tactics to pull you back to your normal income levels. Let's talk about them. I've listed them on this page here for you. The first one here, tactic number one is worry. Worry, worry, worry is a huge killer. You close a huge client for you. It's not normal. Say your normal offer is 10,000, you close a $25,000 offer. Okay, whatever it may be. So instead of celebrating, most people go through this. I have to coach people through this all the time. They close a huge client, but then within 2 minutes, they're on the phone with me because they start worrying. Matt, what happens if they want a refund? Why are you asking me? They just paid you. Calm down. It's super normal. What if I can't deliver? What if they find out I'm not as good as I think I am? What if they find out if they actually realize I'm not good? That worry is not rational. It's your thermostat trying to contract you back again. That worry is it's the upper limit problem. It's trying to steal a couple of things. It's trying to steal your joy, your happiness, but the most expensive one, it's trying to steal your momentum. Because once you get a win, the next win should come immediately because you can start. When you're in motion, things come much easier, much easier. The next sale often comes after your very first sale, especially like when you start making a big one. And what happens is it will steal momentum and joy because it will consume you in worry. And then you will stop selling. You will stop expanding. You will start shrinking again, which is exactly what the thermostat wants. So the first one to recognize, super normal. The upper limit will come and give you loads of stuff to worry about. The second tactic it has, and it really is a tactic and a strategy rolled into one, is blame. And it will start to do some criticism stuff. So picture this, things are going well, business is growing. Woohoo, I love this. Suddenly, you'll start picking a fight with your best friend, husband, wife, mum, dad, neighbor, colleague. Very, 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 very common. Over something trivial, doesn't even exist. You'll spend an hour mentally criticizing Big Bob 66 on the internet. Like you'll start getting angry. So this conflict is not about anyone else. It really isn't. They haven't done anything. It's the upper limit causing a problem. What it loves to do one thing and one thing here. Drama. Likes to create drama to bring you back down. Because drama is the most effective thermostat on planet Earth. Nothing kills momentum faster than a bit of an emotional crisis. AKA, we're having social media drama. So common, yeah? Tactic number 3, deflection. Someone compliments you, compliments your work. Someone tells you that your coaching changed their life, your content changed their life, whatever it may be. Someone says, you're incredible in what you do. And what do you do? Oh, it's nothing. Oh, it was luck. It's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. Not that big a deal. I see all of these in my life at times. It's so normal, my friend. Don't worry. This is why I live as a coach and mentor, to help people through this, because this is something that AI cannot help. I used to feel this way blindly. Yeah, it's one thing that, the phrase new level, new devil. As soon you think you've got it solved, and then the next day, believe me, you've got no idea. And that's why people need coaches and mentors and consultants to help them through this process. Because you think, man, everything's going great. And then the thermostat will kick in and mess everything up. You'll just create drama, just to cause chaos. Honestly, I believe everyone needs someone to help them through this. New level, new devil happens for when you make your first 10K, first 50K, 100K, 200K, 300K, 400K, seven figures. Everyone has it. Everyone, no matter who they are, there's always a new level, new devil. Sorry, deflecting. So every time someone says, "Oh, you're incredible what you do. How do you do it?" and you'll deflect, "It's nothing. I got lucky. That's no big deal." Every time you deflect a compliment, you're telling you're literally sabotaging yourself. You're telling the subconscious mind, "I'm not allowed to receive good things." And if you're not allowed to receive good things in even a conversation, you're certainly not good enough to receive them in a bank account. It's very true. It's a sneaky one. Very, very true. Coaches especially fall into this one. Tactic number 4 likes to pull out the hat. Getting sick or injured. So this sounds very extreme. It is the most common one of all. So you're about to have your best month ever, and then all of a sudden you pull a muscle in your back. You'll get a horrendous flu, a cold. You're allowed to get colds, by the way. I have one now. It's good fun. And it will just come from nowhere. It's super, super, super common. This is your body, which will take orders from the subconscious mind. It does. Because what it's doing something very, very powerful. It's literally will shut you down to stop you exceeding your thermostat, because it doesn't know what else to do. It's panicking as well. So what it's doing is it's stopping you from having an expansion. It's using your body as a cool down switch, but it's actually an emergency brake. It's like a switch you can flick, boom, you're going to stay where you are. We're not allowing that to happen. So whenever something goes very right in your business, watch out for these things. Watch out for upper limit reaction. And there's a few things you can do. You can ask yourself, think, am I worrying? Am I creating a conflict here? Am I deflecting praise? Am I suddenly unwell for no reason? Yeah, what's this worry about? Why am I blaming this person? Why am I wasting my energy criticizing Big Brenda 66 on the internet? What's going on? Why am I trying to cause drama with some random crazy person online? And just recognize it's your thermostat, and it's trying to stop you from expanding. But you need to recognize it and choose to expand, to push for it. And when you have awareness, it really starts to lose its power. Make sense, guys? Yeah, cool. So you'll see here my upper limit alert system on the page. So we've got these 4 tactics. Out of the 4 there, which one do you think is the big one for you? Is it worry, blame, deflection, or getting sick? Number 1, worry. Yeah, it's a big one. Super normal. Super, super normal. I like to deploy all of them. I deploy all of them. I get anxiety immediately. Super common. Yeah. Number 3, deflection. Yeah. Yeah, people pleasing as well under that one. Definitely. It's comes under positive intelligence. Don't know if you studied that, but that's super normal. I'm a confident. Good. Yeah. Yeah, it's common. Every human gets this. So write down in there which one you think it is, because again, it will lose power when you know it. Write it down, and then write this commitment. You'll see there. Um, this is my upper limit problem. I am safe. I'm allowed to expand. Okay, you'll see that bit there. So when you notice, I want you to make a commitment, and the commitment is, when I notice this pattern appearing, I will pause, take a breath, and say, this is my upper limit problem. I'm safe and I'm allowed to expand. It's just your crocodile brain kicking in, basically. Oh, you do PQ coaching. Yeah, positive intelligence. Good, very good program. Very, very good PQ. I have done that. My wife coaches that as well. My wife is a PQ coach. Yeah. I could be. I'm just too lazy. I've gone through it a million times. I use it. I can prove. Watch this. Let me prove. I'm a man of my words. Watch this. Oh, my pen did he went. Look at this. Find it. There's the app loading on my phone now. Here we go. Oh, PQ. There it is. PQ. See, PQ program. PQ program. Yeah. We all know our saboteurs around here. Still getting off the ground. Love the process. Yeah, PQ is great. Should have a talk with my wife. She'll give you some good tips on it. She loves the program. If you want, I can hook you guys up to have a chat. But she's a great fan of PQ. Yeah, I'll hook you guys up. She would love to share some time with you and help you out on that for sure. Yeah, so recognize that's what it's all about. Cool. Okay, we're nearly there, guys. Don't worry. So next up, turning into a signal. So understand, money is a current, and that current will flow towards the person whose frequency matches it. So money is a current, and it flows towards the person whose frequency matches it. I'm actually teaching this to some of my students on Tuesday, the quantum field. But again, I won't go down a rabbit hole. So there's a metaphor I would love to share with you. It's really practical and profound. So making money is like tuning into a radio. Every radio station broadcasts a very precise frequency. So in other words, if you want to hear jazz, that would be a nightmare for me. But tune into the jazz frequency. If you want to hear classical music, you tune into a classical. Again, a nightmare for me. You don't want to hear jazz on a classical station. Guess what? The frequencies will not overlap. If you want to listen to R&B and hip hop, whatever, you have to tune in. So money also broadcasts on a very precise frequency. And to receive it, you have to tune into that frequency. So if you're tuned into the frequency of scarcity, lack, fear, worry, that is your old programming. You'll never be able to achieve wealth if you're coming from a place of scarcity, fear, rejection, all these places. You won't be able to receive wealth. Wealth is not available. You're tuned into the wrong place. So, but what is the frequency of wealth? What is it? So It's the frequency of gratitude, which is spoken about in the Science of Getting Rich. It is the frequency of a burning desire, which Napoleon Hill taught us in Think and Grow Rich. And in his other books, Positive Mental Attitude is a great one. Grow Rich with Peace of Mind is another great one. There's so many good, but Hill taught this. It's the frequency of creative certainty. So this is the creative mind. It's the frequency of professional commitment, which is moving from amateur to pro. It's the frequency of being consistent, which I shared with you about the power of compounding. It's the frequency of being generous. Okay. Law of compensation. It's the frequency of expansive self-worth, which is being aware of this upper limit. Okay. We've been doing that work. So over the last 3 days, we've actually been tuning your internal dial. So every exercise I've given you, every worksheet, every moment where I've asked you to have a think, this is to help you tune into that frequency. All of this stuff. So I hope this has been super helpful the last 3 days. We will have a VIP day, okay, where we will go deeper into these concepts, much deeper. I do loads of live events, guys, where we go into all these concepts again and again. This has just been a taster of a few of them. I hope that you found this interesting and useful. You will see on the very last page of the notebook, it says here, my commitment. Okay, take some time and fill this bad boy out and carry it with you. You fill this out with your own intuition. Okay, it is on page 8. Sit, ponder, and write it out. Okay, there's a few other worksheets in here which we'll talk about on the VIP, but the main ones are all, which we've covered, all been there to help you to tune in to the wealth frequency. There are some hidden, sneaky ones, which I do share on other stuff. We don't have, I wish we could talk forever. I love doing this stuff, but we only have 3 days. So I hope this has served you the last couple of days. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have this burning desire within you to go out and do some cool stuff that I know you can all do. If you can make Wednesday, please come on Wednesday, be 5 o'clock UK time. I will contact you with the links. If you're around on Friday, feel free to come on Friday. We'll be doing the fear of judgment in sales. Like I said, I've coached, mentored hundreds and hundreds of people in sales. Sales is my background, along with mindset. My specialty for people, if you're stuck, is helping people going from knowing to doing to create massive success, wealth, clients in their life. If you feel stuck, please feel more than welcome to reach out. We can jump on a call, dig into the messy stuff, work out what's going on in your life and get you unstuck. I would be nothing more than happy to serve you in that way. Okay? Don't be a stranger, guys. Really, really appreciate you. If you know of anyone this would serve or help, feel free to invite them next Friday. Keep an eye out on my email. I send you emails all the time about stuff like this. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you all. Take care. Is there any questions from people in Zoom? People who are on the live stream, I'm going to pause now and just hang out with the VIPs. It's been a pleasure. I will jump on YouTube, go and answer all the comments wherever you're watching it. It's been streamed in a number of places, so I'll jump in there and I promise I will get to all of them. VIP